Hello, guys. Thank you for joining us on our very first podcast, Lumos, Sharing the Love with Lindsay and Lillian. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Lillian. And we decided to start this podcast after some inspiration we had from watching other podcasts, such as James and Oliver Phelps's Double Trouble podcast, which you can find on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts, and the Johanna Conta podcast, which you should also go check out. So quarantine's been a bit of a struggle, even though it's kind of like lifting a little bit. You know, obviously we're together. So,
finally together.
What has been the weirdest thing that has happened during quarantine for you?
The weirdest thing is just probably not seeing my friends and being able to do everything I want. Not being able to go, like, to Stillwater all the time. Yeah. You know? Sad. How about you? What's the weirdest thing in quarantine that you have experienced?
3 weeks into quarantine, I apparently somehow got strep throat, so that was probably the weirdest thing, because we really had no idea where it came from, so.
Yes. And then, Lily, what's your favorite thing to do during quarantine?
My favorite thing to do, I'd have to say probably like reading or writing and just spending hours on the phone with you.
Same. My favorite thing, so during quarantine, is talking to you, now working out with you, that was fun. We're still really sore, and reading. Reading,
yes. So, during quarantine, I think we decided to start working out together after we kind of, like, the governor lifted a little bit.
Yeah.
So we can now gather in small groups and whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
So we're, like, just working out together.
Yes. And then we decided to work out together also because I do summer swimming, which is something through my school because I'm a swimmer. Not that good, but, like, I still do it. But, like, it's not the safest for me because I live with my grandma, so I needed to be more careful, and I can't really do summer swimming. Yeah. And then you're not going to be able to do cross country, right?
Yeah, I just decided not to do that because exercising on my own time is more fun than...
Yes. I don't want to do it right after school. And then also, so we decided we should start this podcast because we just want to talk about life and stuff. And I think you guys should know how we met. So we met in 8th grade. So this is when we were in middle school. And by today, we are officially juniors, just finished sophomore year. So we're really excited. Okay, so let's go back. What is it, 3 years to 8th grade?
3 years to 8th grade, yeah.
Gosh. So we met in our STEM class, and she was sitting by herself, and then I was sitting with one of my friends. And then she was also in my band, because we're both band students. And then she was also in my church small group, so I kind of, like, knew her. Then one day I invited her over to my table, and ever since then we've been friends.
Yep.
Well, kind of.
Well, we'll do that in another one.
Yes.
All right, so we are completely new to this whole podcast thing, obviously.
Yes, very new.
So there's probably not so much you know about us, so we've just got some fun facts we'd like to share. In real life, Lindsay and I could totally be twins. We have blonde hair, blue eyes, and we coincidentally wore the same shirt. Definitely didn't plan it.
Yeah, and we like twinning because at school we'll like be like, oh, let's wear our pajamas today, or like whatever.
Yeah, we definitely twin a lot.
Or like we have this other shirt that we have, and
it says women and
yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I used to be homeschooled. I was homeschooled for, good grief. No, I went to public school first. I went to public school for pre-K and kindergarten. And then I was homeschooled from 1st through 5th grade. Mm-hmm. And then I went to a private school for 6th and 7th grade. And then I just started going to public school in 8th grade. Mm-hmm. So I've kind of, seen a lot of those experiences with school. I'm also a big, huge fan of music. I started playing piano when I was 5, so I've been at that for almost 11 years now. Wow. I started playing the clarinet when I was in 6th grade. I didn't like it very much. Like, I started to develop an interest in the French horn about a year later. And so I played the clarinet through 6th, 7th, 8th, and 2 trimesters in 9th grade. And then I decided, I don't like the clarinet anymore. I need to find a different instrument.
Oh, and then also, what did you name your clarinet?
Oh, I named my clarinet Dolores Umbridge because I really, 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 really hate it. Anyway, so I stopped playing clarinet 2nd trimester, 9th grade. And then I started playing the French horn 3rd trimester. And I've been playing the French horn since. I also picked up the trumpet 2nd trimester, 10th grade for jazz band. Mm-hmm. But on the French horn side of things, I've made it quickly to the unofficial first chair, as my teachers call it. or directors. Sorry.
Yay, good job.
Directors. Yeah, so I'm much better at the French horn than at the clarinet. I just, yeah. So.
Okay. And then for me, I'm also a band student. So in 5th grade, because that's when we started doing band, I started in percussion. And it's a long line of percussionists in my family. And percussion, if you guys don't know, it's drums, keyboard, mallets, auxiliary instruments like tambourine, maracas, and all that. And then I've been doing that ever since. And I am like a really sucky piano player. I need to try it. And then also for me, I've been in the same public school for all of my schooling. And then also some things I also like is I love animals and I love dogs. I have 2 dogs right now, Chico and Charlie. Chico's a Chihuahua. He's lovely. And then Charlie is a Shih Tzu Terrier. And then we have a 3rd dog on the way. And I will like tell the name once we get our dog, 'cause we're not sure about it, but it's a wonderful name, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yes. It's brilliant. And then also some other dogs I like is Willow the dog. Some of you guys might know, if you know what I'm talking about. And then also, we're getting close to college. And so there's some degrees and like some colleges I'm interested in. So as of right now, I'm interested in pre-vet because I've always wanted to be a veterinarian. But also another degree that could go along with that is animal science, biology, and then I'm also thinking of nursing because I think I'd be a really good nurse. And then from some schools that I'm interested in is the U of M, so it's the University of Minnesota, Bethel, and University of Wisconsin, River Falls. What about you?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm interested in kind of like a minor in Spanish, quite possibly a minor in math too, because I kind of like math a little bit. I'm looking at right now a major in psychology and possibly a major in music because, music's great. For colleges, I'm looking at the U of M or a different music school. I'm really stuck on the U of M.
Me too.
Say.
Twin Cities, of course.
Definitely.
We love it.
Yeah.
There's some good coffee shops.
Beautiful. Yes.
Like beautiful campus.
So on like the personality side of stuff, I'm totally like a complete introvert.
Yes.
I get so socially drained and I have to like be by myself for like hours on end to like recharge, honestly.
Same.
Too much social interaction will make me nervous. So as an example, it was with my family, we were having Christmas together and we were all playing this game, and after like 15 minutes of playing this like huge game with like a bunch of my cousins, I was like, I'm out, bye. And I went to the corner, I retreated to the corner and started reading a book in like silence, and I'm like, okay, I can breathe now. I'm not nervous anymore. I'm not like with people, so.
Yes. Okay, I'm also an introvert because I love my alone time. I need to, if I'm going to recharge, I need to be by myself. But I also love talking with my friends and my family. I talk a lot. And yeah, and then also there are some other things we like.
Yeah, what is it?
I wonder.
We are really, 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 like, ginormous. I don't know if you noticed by the name of my clarinet, but we're huge Harry Potter fans. And so we thought that it'd be really, really cool to share, like, a Harry Potter houses, Patronus, and wands, because a lot of those things say a lot of things about us. Say about our personalities. Yes. So, do you want to start off?
Yes, I would love. So my house, like, definitely, I'm a huge Hufflepuff. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Yes. Okay, so also, but if I wasn't in Hufflepuff, I'd probably be in Ravenclaw. That would be my hybrid house. What people would call it a Ravenpuff. But, so, some traits that are known for Hufflepuff is loyalty, patience, justice, hard work, being nice, being kind, being morally good, and being accepting. And something that would kind of keep me from not being in Ravenclaw is that's like what I need to do, like just all of those things that explains me and like what I do as a person. I try to be morally good, but I also am pretty curious and I love learning and stuff, so that's probably something that would put me in Ravenclaw.
So you would value
yes,
human relationship over knowledge, and that puts you in Hufflepuff.
Yes, and that's probably also why I'm thinking nursing too. And then also some things that I like about Hufflepuff. So Helga Hufflepuff said, "I'll teach the lot and treat them just the same." And something about, so for the Battle of Hogwarts is the Hufflepuff stayed and fought because it was the right thing to do. And something JK has said is, I think we should all want to be Hufflepuffs. So yeah. What about you, Lily?
Really cute. I am a Ravenclaw. But if I wasn't a Ravenclaw, I would be a Slytherin.
Mm-hmm.
A Slytherclaw would be the hybrid.
Yeah.
And they're very ambitious and cunning and creative and resourceful.
Mm-hmm.
Some qualities in a Ravenclaw are intelligence, wit, which is just like a sharp mind, wisdom, creativity, originality, individuality, acceptance, sharpness. I would not be in Slytherin because I'm a very, very, very curious person.
Mm-hmm.
You would know this because I re-signed into like the Wizarding World app as a different person. And I retook the quiz because we were thinking that I'd be more Slytherin, weren't we?
Yes.
And then afterwards I got Ravenclaw again and I was texting you and I was like, but why? Why am I not in Slytherin? Why am I not in Slytherin?
Like, there's like these things on Pinterest where it's like, oh yeah, you're a Slytherin for sure. And it's like, yeah, and then for Hufflepuff it's like, oh my gosh, yes, that's me. Yeah. So we're kind of like, why not?
And then she said I was being Ravenclaw by asking why I wasn't in Slytherin. So we have that. I have a lot of like the sarcasm and like
extremely.
I can
and essays. You are.
I'm very sarcastic.
Our like language teacher. Oh my gosh, you're so sarcastic in essays. It's great.
So I'm sarcastic in a lot of things, and that's why I'd be
And then also something before I talk about our Patronuses is something I find very interesting is with our friend groups. For our friend group, most of them are actually Slytherins, except for Lily. Then one of my other friends, she's a Ravenclaw, which is something I find really interesting that I surround myself with people who are Slytherins, which I think is really interesting. As a Hufflepuff, it's like Slytherin, Hufflepuff. Like, and I think it's like just so
Before
funny.
we go on here, according to J.K. Rowling, Ravenclaw roughly corresponds to the element of air. I thought that was super.
And then Hufflepuff is Earth, I think, right?
I think probably what would Slytherin be? Fire, definitely.
No,
just kidding.
Wouldn't that be Gryffindor? But I could totally see Slytherin.
What would Slytherin's element be?
What's the element? Water? No, that's
water, and then there's like light.
Well, I think it would be. I don't know.
Definitely not
dungeons.
Light. Not
dark.
Light.
Darkness. Yes. Okay. Now we should move on to our Patronuses, which you can take on Wizarding World. So when I took it, my Patronus, I got a calico cat, which is like an awesome cat. I love cats. So out of the cat majority, they are very rare. They are like a watchful. Oh my gosh, a watchful. My phone flipped. Where is it? Okay, a watchful guardian. And then at the time they manage two opposing sides. I can really see this in myself because I'm like I see the sides of both things, so like I can have a hard time choosing sometimes. I see both sides, and like for essays it's so hard because like I have to choose a side. I'm like I can see both sides, both of them are right. It's a problem. They are also very loyal, clever, and alert individuals. I'm very alert. I like observe. We're very observant.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, extremely. It annoys me sometimes because people our age aren't very observant. And, like, did you see that? Did you see that? And I'm like, oh, gosh. No, they didn't. Okay. Then also they're very patient and laid-back people. I'm pretty laid-back most of the time. That's, like, most of the time. Sometimes I can be kind of crazy. And also, I already said this, but they're extremely observant. They are very affectionate and sweet-natured people, and they're very independent. I'm a really independent person. I like to do things on my own. And then they know when to move and then when to take it easy. Yeah. How about you?
My Patronus is a swallow. I don't quite know how this fits with my personality, but swallow is associated with love, happiness, protection, and summer. It is extremely powerful, and it can conquer a full battalion of Dementors. I'm thinking maybe with just the area of protection, I find that I'm actually a very, 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 very protective person. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I really have no idea. Love and happiness, it's just...
Love and happiness and peace.
Sometimes it's just a little bit of a... We're not going to go there. My wand, moving into wands now, is a sycamore wood with a dragon heartstring core. It's 12 3/4 of an inch with hard flexibility. So I'm going to break that down.
Yes.
12 3/4 of an inch really doesn't have any significance. It's basically...
Maybe kind of with your height, I guess?
It's basically kind of like height, even though she's taller than me and she's a shorter one, so I don't really know how to figure this out. Anyway, so moving on to the wood, sycamore. Sycamore wood is eager for new experience. It will combust if it's bored, because wands have feelings, apparently.
Yes.
The owner has to be curious, which, yeah, I am. Vital and adventurous. I'm very adventurous. Demonstrates a capacity to learn and adapt that earn it a rightful place among the world's most highly prized wand woods. So, I mean, I can adapt fast if I want. And I learn a lot, definitely. The core, which is dragon heartstring, produces wands with the most power and are capable of the most flamboyant spells, which is kind of like, how would you describe that in a personality? Just being really, really random.
And quick-tempered, maybe, kind of.
Probably. So, really random, really quick-tempered, as you say. Really kind of just...
Oh, nice. Okay.
They learn more quickly than other types.
Yeah, I can see that. You're a really quick learner. And as being a Ravenclaw, you really just learn things really quickly. And then with me, we both get really good grades, but I have to work, kind of harder to get what I want.
Yeah, like in Spanish, I was complimented by my teacher. He said that Spanish he seemed to think that Spanish came naturally for me, which is kind of interesting. Yes. I was like, I mean, I kind of feel the same way, but then again, it just might be my ability to adapt and learn it.
And this is really funny. So also kind of along with Spanish is so far Spanish final for trimester 2 is a partner speaking final. We were both like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be awful. We're gonna fail, even though we're probably like.
And he didn't
the
tell
best
us
in the class.
Right. He didn't even tell us the order.
Yeah.
And then we went in the day of the final and we were first, which kind of gave us a little more
I was
stress,
like, he's either going to be like nice to us and put us first, or like be mean and just keep us as less people. We took it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like staring at this grading thing the whole time. And Lily, it must have been funny, right?
Yeah, it was really funny. He would circle our points, like how we were speaking.
Yeah.
In the past tense or
you got
future tense.
Didn't you get a perfect?
I got a perfect.
I got maybe one off because I forgot fooey. Fooey. It's boy, but I call it fooey. That's the first thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move
on. Back to the Dragon Heartstring core. It bonds strongly with current owner. So going off of that I take a long time to trust people.
1.5 years.
It took me 1.5 years. But here we are.
Yes.
A year and a half later. So where was I going with that? Oh, strong, but I'll bond.
So once you're bond, you're
with the people that I'm.
Glue.
Definitely. It is also the easiest to turn to the dark arts, so it will not incline that way of its own accordance. I kind of associate with this with stubbornness.
Extremely.
So I wouldn't ever turn it to the dark arts.
Are you sure?
I would just be stubborn, unless.
Almost like the dark arc appears in the sky.
Unless I had to do it for to protect my family and my friends, then I'd only do it that
Draco.
way. A little bit like Draco. Draco was forced into the... Anyway, but I associate that with stubbornness.
Yes.
It is also most prone... Okay. Of the cores to accidents being somewhat temperamental. Yeah, you know what? I'm temperamental, so it's fine. Alright. The flexibility, hard flexibility. My wand is very difficult wand, apparently. It's very difficult to work with. I can be difficult to work with. Just gonna put that out there.
First trimester Spanish. I didn't have you, but you told me it was funny.
What?
With the group projects and stuff.
Oh.
That was fun for you.
Yeah, that was a bit of a pain. Loyalty is not easily won. Again, back to the hard trusting thing. Very true between us. Great for couples and couples.
Can you...
complex. Whoops.
That's a good spelling. She's also really good at spelling, for sure.
We're just fast typers. And so
and then we'll type, and then we'll be like, what is the little mark? It's like the little star mark.
The little asterisk.
And this is how we spelled it. So funny.
Yeah, because we type with... Okay, and so it's great for complex and advanced levels of magic, which I don't really know what that says about me. But beginners may find it extremely difficult, or extra difficult. Find extra difficulty.
Extra.
Whatever.
There you go.
With this wand when it doesn't perform well for simple magic. So, I'm a complex human being, apparently.
Yeah. I would say. Okay, so my turn. So my wand is sycamore wood, because you have sycamore wood, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have the same wood. With unicorn hair, 11.5 inches, and brittle flexibility. So I got sycamore wood, so that's eager for new experiences. The ideal owner is curious and adventurous, same with me. We adapt, learn and adapt quickly, and it's one of the most prized wands, actually.
Wand woods.
Yes. Okay, and then so unicorn hair. So it's consistent magic, so it's really reliable, least subject to fluctuations and blockages. We kind of have opposite wand cores. Yeah. It's the most difficult to turn to the dark arts, and I can really see that in myself. I would never.
Again. You would never. I would.
I would never. I would die first. Okay. And it's very, very faithful to the first owner, but it doesn't make that powerful of a wand. And then mine is, oh my gosh, I can't talk. Brittle flexibility. So it's like really, I guess it's pretty flexible.
Yeah.
It breaks easily. Yes. And it's, yeah, so I guess that's what it is. And also, along with Harry Potter. Oh, actually, I want to say something really interesting first I found. I remember in my family, so my mom and my dad, for their wands, they both have unicorn hair. And I think that's pretty interesting that my family has unicorn hair as their wands. And then, so now we also have our favorite characters from Harry Potter. And some of our favorites is the Weasley twins. So I love Fred because he's really funny, and he's like the more out there of the twin, and sometimes doesn't really know when to stop. And then there's George. He's funny, but he's a little bit more level-headed. He's my favorite twin, I would say. And then there's Draco, because in the beginning I loved reading Draco because he just said like the best things. Like, can you say Potter for me?
Potter. In what line? What
Any
thing?
Potter. Just say Potter.
Why so tense, Potter?
Yes. It's just great. His lines, and then by the end of the series, you're like, I feel so bad for him. And it's like, this sucks that he has to go through this.
He definitely struggles with
I know, because when you're first reading the series, you're like, I hate Draco. I'm like, you're going to love him. You're going to love him by the end of this, and you do.
Yeah, I do.
And then also, I love Hermione because she's a strong, independent woman. She's smart and awesome. And then Luna, because she's just amazing and really sweet. And then also, like, just a couple more. I'm sorry.
Just a couple.
And then some adults I really like. I love Remus because he's really insightful and caring. And then also, I love Sirius because there's a really good, what is it, an analogy? Well, a metaphor behind his character. And then also Snape because he's loyal and he just goes through much. I kind of have like a love-hate relationship with Snape. I'm like, some things it's like, oh, he shouldn't have done that, but like he was like really protecting Harry. How about you?
So my favorite characters don't differ like much or at all from yours.
Nope.
But my top favorite.
Okay.
So my top favorite characters.
Yes.
Whatever. Anyway.
Top 10. There's not enough.
So our Fred and George. I love Fred and George. You can't have one without the other.
Nope.
Obviously, we see that at the end of the book.
You should fix that, please. Like, make a special edition just for us.
Yeah, totally.
We need them both.
They value their family, and you really kind of see that kind of later, even though they're really, really big pranksters. They really do value their family, though. And they're just overall hilarious. Comedic relief. We need that in Harry Potter, definitely.
Yes.
So, moving on. Draco Malfoy would be my second favorite character or my third favorite character. How would you
It's
say
up there.
that?
It's like in the top 5.
No, but like if Fred and George are one, they're not one person. They're two different characters.
They're separate people, Lily.
They're separate people, so would it be third favorite
Third.
character?
I think it'd be third. Yeah. Wait, who's your
Whatever.
favorite twin?
I don't have a favorite twin.
You don't have a favorite twin?
No, definitely not.
Oh,
I love
I
them
like
both.
George.
Love them both. Anyway, Draco Malfoy. I think to look deeper into his character because I overanalyze stuff.
Yeah, we're planning on
sometimes.
doing an analysis
Yes,
of Draco Malfoy
whole video
eventually.
on Draco Malfoy. Anyway, he represents a lot of the struggles that we all go through. Examples being he has bad parents. Not bad parents. They're just
it's
like
expectations.
Hard expectations, specifically from his father. His mother's a great woman and human being. She is, best line ever. Well, one of them. He's forced to be bad. He's not given a choice. Some people in life are just not given a choice. So that he represents that.
A boy who had no choice.
Exactly. And he realizes he wants to be good. So everyone views him as this bad person because of how he kind of started his relationships at Hogwarts. And then you realize kind of like really at the end that he wants to be good, but he doesn't have that choice.
Oh, can I add something onto Draco? So he has a son, Scorpius Malfoy, and he, from the Cursed Child, out of all the kids, he's like my favorite. He's like such a dork. He's like so funny to read. Yes, okay. Scorpius is amazing.
My next favorite character would be Molly Weasley, because she's an amazing mother. She's very strong and confident, and she has the best line. She has the best line at the end of the book, end of the series. Which we won't repeat because it is
a swear word, but it's like the best thing ever.
But it's the best. You can go look that up in the Deathly Hallows. She always like takes her family first, and Harry, which is kind of like adopted family.
Harry is part of the.
She takes people in. And she takes people as her own. Also, I really, really love Luna because she just she doesn't judge people. She's a very nice person. Like, at first you might think she's weird.
Yeah, you thought that.
Or just
you're like,
odd.
I don't like her.
I was like
once you get to know her.
But then now you kind of just realize that her personality, no, she's like a really good character and she really understands love.
You're just the same as I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on to scenes.
Yes, scenes from the movie. Now we're talking movies.
Yeah.
So there's like I love them all, and like we can repeat all of them if we really want to.
Honestly.
But one of my favorites is from Chamber of Secrets. So it's when Harry and Ron take the top polyjuice potion, and then they turn into Crabbe and Goyle, and they basically
Saint Potter.
So they go in to spy on Draco to find out if he's the Harris heir. I said Harris Slytherin. Yeah. And he's not, but the funny thing, so it's Tom Felton who plays Draco. He makes up, you can read, because he forgot his lines, and it just
he did.
He forgot his lines,
I didn't know
so
that.
he said that.
I mean,
you can really read, or like you can, I didn't know you could read.
Could read.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then, then another, from the third movie, Prisoner of Azkaban, it's when Remus and Sirius, they re-meet in the Shrieking Shack, and as soon as Remus sees Sirius, he's like, oh, he didn't do it. Like, that's how friendship should be. Those two are, like, amazing. And then also, well, there's a lot more, but, like, another one is, so when Mrs. Weasley kills Bellatrix in the last movie, it's golden. It's so beautiful.
It's so good.
It's, like, art.
Definitely.
Sorry.
So some of mine would be the Marauders map scene.
From the third movie.
From the third movie, because Fred and George are just finishing each other's sentences. They're acting like how everyone thinks twins are. Yes. Honestly, just like just going back and forth. They're the best. I also love anything like with Fred and George in it. So when Fred and George like leave school, when they act as like older brothers to that one little kid after the DA got detention and had to like write the thingy that carved out on their hand.
I must not tell lies.
Right. And then in their joke shop is really, really amazing. I really love their shop.
Well, they did. I seriously just watched that like maybe 2 nights ago. Like the joke shop is like wonderful to look at. I love it. Yeah.
All right, and I also really love when Mrs. Weasley kills Bellatrix. This is just the best line ever. And I was thinking of another scene. Oh.
Me too.
When Snape says always from the pensieve, that makes me cry like every single time. And then when Harry goes and he sees like his parents and then Sirius and Remus, and that kind of moment just always makes me cry too. Because it's really like down to earth. And then when James is like until the very end, it's like I can't do it. And then they added on his mom saying, when Harry's always, like right? When Harry says stay close to me, and then his mom goes always, I cried. I just can't do that.
Yes. And then also I thought of another other scene. So it's in the 5th movie. So it's in the Department of Mysteries. So it's when I think Sirius and Harry are basically doing Lucius. And then so Sirius, so Harry basically gets Lucius. And he goes to Harry and is like, nice one, James. That's so heartbreaking.
It's so sad.
And then also, what was it?
But when I cry, it's like a couple tears and like, okay, good.
I ugly cried.
When she cries, she ugly cried.
When I watched the Battle of Hogwarts, I was bawling so hard. I'm like, he can't be dead. No, he can't be dead. He can't be dead. Like, all these people are dying. And I'm like so sad. And then also, so if you want to be very sad, so it's the last book, so Deathly Hallows, Battle of Hogwarts, be warned, whenever you read that, just know the ending is very sad. So whenever you see Fred, like when I saw Fred's name first appear in that chapter, I'm like, oh crap, we're in for a ride, and I'm gonna cry.
It was definitely
not
an emotional roller coaster. All right, so we're gonna talk about our favorite spells now because we can't leave spells out.
Yes, and if you could probably guess, you could by the name of our podcast what our favorite spell is. It's Lumos. So that's for light, and it's a really useful spell. Then I love Expecto Patronum because it's beautiful, but it's really powerful, and it just shows you just need a little light. And then Accio, because it's very useful. Just get whatever you want. Like Accio hairbrush thing, it didn't work.
Didn't work?
No, it didn't work.
Accio hairbrush. Oh, why did it work for me?
And then Expelliarmus. So that's simple but effective. Just disarm your opponents. Harry obviously really likes it. That's like basically the only spell he uses.
Obsessive. I don't know how the Ministry hired him if that's the only spell he uses.
I know, it's really. And then Sectum Sempra, because it's a really interesting spell, and it's like really interesting how it can just cut up someone, and it's really.
That sounds really wrong, but like.
But, like, okay, just, like, the scene with, like, Harry and Draco, it's, like, really interesting, and it's, like, I don't know. I like the spell.
Well,
Stark.
I think I have all the same ones as you, but for
You do.
different reasons. I love Expecto Patronum because it gives hope in the darkest of times.
Where'd you get that from?
I don't know.
You just one has to remember to turn on the lights.
Yep. Because The Prisoner of Azkaban is a pretty dark book when you think about it.
It really is. You can, like, kind of see, like, the change from, like, the second movie to the third movie.
Definitely.
It's, like, so much darker.
And Expecto Patronum is like, I need
Just
to have
a little
hope. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Lumos just because it gives light. I mean, you could, like, read at night in your bed. It'd be great. Sectum Sempra because it glides over your tongue so smoothly. Like, it's very dangerous and interesting. It, like, cuts like a sword. It's just an interesting spell. The whole chapter on, like, Sectum Sempra and the scene in the movie is just really, really interesting. And then the only reason I like the summoning charm, Accio, is because Fred and George use it in the book to get their broomsticks out of Professor Umbridge's office and fly out of school after dropping a one-liner to Peeves, which again is a swear word in it. But it's great. So go check that out. So
wait, can I say something about Peeves quickly?
Peeves.
So, and I think, if I remember correctly, in the first movie, they were actually gonna have Peeves, but it just didn't work out. It didn't work out.
They were gonna have Peeves.
Yeah, it just looked, I think, weird, they said. So that's kind of sad, but, like,
they totally took Peeves out. Like, I mean,
he's
come
so
on,
funny.
Like, we need Peeves. He's the best. Or especially in the book, when after Fred and George leave, everyone's starting to, like, vandalize the school because they're like, yay, Fred and George, now it's our turn to vandalize the school, right? And Peeves was, like, untwisting a light bulb, and McGonagall, like, it wasn't working, and Harry was like...
No, Harry...
It was, like, from Harry's perspective. So, like, they were walking past each other, and he was walking past McGonagall in the same room that Peeves unscrewing this light bulb, and then Professor McGonagall was, like, unscrewed the other way.
Or something
and so, like, I help with, like, the vandalization. It's so great.
Just McGonagall is another great character.
She's, like, the motherly character of everyone in Hogwarts, no matter who you are.
Even if you are a Slytherin.
Even if you're Draco Malfoy. Even though she sent originally all the Slytherins to the dungeons would do. Anyway, it's
okay.
So funny. Anyway, so we named this podcast Lumos because quarantine can be a dark time for various different reasons. Whether that's, like, not seeing your friends, just you're dealing with some things that are just dark in general. And Lumos is the spell for light. So we wanted to kind of be that light in the darkest of times. I mean, we could have called it, I don't know, the Expecto Patronum.
Should we change it, guys? Maybe.
We want to
Calico Cat and a Swallow.
Anyway, we wanted to spread a little bit of light and just show love during this time because it can definitely be a really, really difficult time. So.
And there are also some other topics. Like, a big one is going to be Harry Potter. And we already talked about this, but we're going to do analysis on Draco. Because, like, pretty interesting, and maybe some other characters talk about Harry Potter. And I think we want to dive into, like, the different houses and the traits and all of that even more, because that's really interesting. And just talking about life, what's going on, what we're doing.
Experiences, because, you know, we're old people.
Advice and experiences. Because I guess we have some good advice. Like, don't do some dumb things. We had to learn the hard way.
Though not as bad as Fred and George did.
Not as bad, but some things. Then just randomness and ranting and talking about life, because we rant a lot.
We're random people.
Yeah.
It just happens. We'd also like to go over other books and movies, such as Divergent or... what else is there?
Well, like...
I mean, like, The Maze Runner.
Yeah, I read the first Maze Runner book. I need to read the whole series. There are some other series that we're just thinking of reading, and some rereads that I want to read, and you need to read Series of Unfortunate Events. 13 books.
Gotta reread
13 books. It's wonderful.
Anyway, we're gonna kind of probably make
I'm funny.
Okay, we might make a video kind of about exercise tips and stuff like that, because
that's what we're good at.
We're exercising together. I'm picky about, like, exercise form. Like, we were doing push-ups earlier.
I can't do
and
push-ups.
You were like,
I can, like, do sit-ups.
And then you were yelling at me for my plank form. So we do two.
Yeah, I'm like, your butt's in the air. It's wonderful. And then also something
music,
along with
music.
Something else. Wait, did you put that?
Do what?
Wait, did you already put that over?
Do what?
Oh, never mind. Sorry. Keep going.
Okay. We'd also like to talk about music, bands, musicians, songs, etc.
I love music.
If there's like a specific song that we like, we'll probably break down all the lyrics.
We're doing that.
And talk.
Planned. We're doing it.
I
want to do like there's so many different songs.
Okay, moving on to guests we hope to have. Who do we hope to have?
Oh yeah, who do we hope to have? We hope to have some of our friends.
Parents, family, teachers.
Maybe some teachers. We have like some awesome
some
teachers.
Amazing teachers.
Wonderful. Yeah, and also something on our teachers. So we asked one of our teachers.
Well, technically, I sent the email.
Yeah, you sent the email, so we asked him. Like, so we sent out this whole email. It's like, what? We love Harry Potter.
We could read the
Do you
actual
want to read it out?
thing.
Yeah, without saying his name.
Oh, wait. Where do you have the screenshots of it, or do I have the screenshots
You
of
have-
it? Because that's my iPad.
Okay, Lily, talk about something. I can get it quickly. Or do you got
so
it?
she's going to talk about that.
Okay, so yeah, so we were interested. I'll talk about some other. So both of our language arts teacher from last year and this year, both of them are Gryffindors.
So we emailed him on this, school app, because, everyone has an app nowadays. We said, Lindsay and I were wondering if you were a Harry Potter fan, book version. We specified book version, but it's fine. If so, what is your, we went off on, questions, didn't we? If so, what is your house, wand, Patronus, favorite book, and favorite character? He knew we were weird students to begin with, so to get this
we'd always sit
an
together in
email
class and,
was fine. We'd be, yelling and laughing and talking about random stuff in class. Anyway, so hang on, my phone's being weird. Good grief. It's being done again. Okay, hang on. It's fine. We're having technical difficulties here.
Very
guys.
technical. She's awful at technology.
Okay, I just lost. Oh crap!
Did you just lose it, Lily? Well, while we're waiting right here, what's something I could talk about? Oh yeah, so some of our other teachers, so our language arts teachers, are both Gryffindors. Yeah.
I found it.
You found it. Okay, we're gonna go back to our wonderful teacher.
So that was a random, lots of questions, and then we said. Talking about me because I sent the email. I'm a Ravenclaw, my Patronus is a swallow, my wand is a sycamore wood with a dragon heartstring core, 12 3/4 inch, blah, blah, blah. We already went over that. My favorite book is either The Goblet of Fire or The Half-Blood Prince, though I can't decide because Fred and George's exit scene in The Order of the Phoenix is absolutely epic, because it is. And then for Lindsay, I said Lindsay is a Hufflepuff, her Patronus is a calico cat, and her wand is a sycamore wood with unicorn hair core. 11 and a half in brittle flexibility. Her favorite book is either The Order of the Phoenix or The Half-Blood Prince. Both of us love the Weasley twins, thanks to Lindsay and Lillian. So, he replied...
2 weeks later, we thought he, just totally ignored it. And we felt
it. We felt really, really weird. And then he is, in the evening, and he goes, hola, Lillian, muy buenas tardes. And I'm like, oh, very good night to you, too.
We just call him Senor Ravenclaw. Senor Ravenclaw, that's his name now. So if you're watching this you're probably not.
I keep name dropping. We're just
cutting that. So if we tried to do this in one cut, but Lily can't shut her mouth.
Okay, so because he apologized for getting back late, and he thought that if he sent the email, it'd be a great start to summer vacation and such. And so he explained how he got into Harry Potter in a whole paragraph, but we won't read that. He said that he was also a Ravenclaw.
And I called it. I was thinking about it.
I was thinking about it too.
Yeah, you thought he was maybe a Slytherin, but
I thought he could have been Slytherin, but
yeah,
it's fine.
But he got his Ravenclaw, and why I guess this is because he's very curious and he's very knowledgeable.
He just says he talks very.
He has a lot of knowledge, and he's I'm not sure about this, but from what I know, it's all of this.
You'll even see that in his response here, too.
Yeah, and his response, I'm yeah, he's a Ravenclaw for sure.
So he says, I am also a Ravenclaw, however, I like to think, that I would have friends among people from all four houses, because I have always enjoyed the company of individuals who are different than me. Very educated response.
Yeah, it's really educated.
As for my Patronus, mine is a tortoiseshell cat, and my wand is a black thorn with a phoenix tail feather for a core. It is 14 and a half inches. He's tall,
yeah.
so that explains so that. Long. Yeah. With unyielding flexibility. That's one stubborn wand, oh my goodness. His favorite book is either The Half-Blood Prince, because he loves the trips taken in the Pensieve.
Me too.
His favorite quote, we didn't ask him for his favorite quote.
He added it. I'm
was
okay.
In The Half-Blood Prince, when Professor Snape is talking about the Inferi, and after mocking Harry's response, Ron retorts, when we come face to face with one down a dark alley, we are going to have.
Can you talk today?
I think we're going to shifty to see if it's solid, aren't we? We're not going to be asking, excuse me, are you the imprint of a departed soul?
The Snape, right?
That's wrong. We're not retorting. We're not going to be asking, are you a departed soul? Whatever. Anyway, very sarcastic.
Yes.
And he says, as for my favorite character, I don't really have one. I think each character brings their own merits, and I appreciate what each character adds to the story. But he adds, although I do enjoy the Weasley twins. So he really has
Everyone loves the Weasley twins. If you don't, you're probably, I don't know. Like, you just don't like happiness. You're a Dementor, probably. If you don't like Fred and George, you're a Dementor, and that's it. What?
Or Lucius Malfoy.
Yes, because, no Weasley's there.
Whatever. Anyway, so that was a nice little tangent we went on there.
And some other things we're planning on doing.
Yes. What are we planning on doing?
We are planning on doing weekly vlogs, because on... Oh my gosh.
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yes, Mondays, Wednesdays. So on Mondays, at my house, we have like a nice walking pond or jogging. Yeah, so we're gonna do that. And then on Wednesdays, it's gonna be kind of like changeable because we might go places because my mom is pretty flexible and we can go on trails. And yeah, and then on Fridays,
we do it in my house.
We're doing little workouts and it was really fun.
Which is like, yeah. It was a cute little workout we did.
It was very short.
It was short, but it was also probably very effective. I think we'll build up to more. We did core and arms, and then we did one lap around this little loop I have out here. So.
Yeah, and then what we were planning on doing today is watching Double Trouble podcast, but sadly a misfortune happened in their family, so it's delayed.
But you should still go watch it.
But go watch it. It's like... So James and Oliver, they have an awesome podcast.
And they're Harry Potter's Fred and George Weasley, if you didn't know.
I just love listening to them, go listen to them.
No one else could have played Fred and George better than they did.
No,
they did.
No one else. Beautiful.
Spectacular.
Yes. And then, what else?
We write since after Harry Potter became a commonality between the two of us.
And when we got bored.
We decided we'd start writing a fan fiction about Harry Potter, which you can find in Wattpad under my username Ravendor20.
Yep.
Which is not my hybrid house. I am a Slytherin.
Why did you do Ravendor?
Because I'm really close on Gryffindor. I'm more Slytherin than Gryffindor, but Gryffindor...
This is when you made that account.
Slitherclaw was taken, okay? Slitherclaw was taken. Okay. So I couldn't do it. And it's called Destiny. It's my only published work at the moment. But you can totally go check that out. Should
I read the little thing about what it's about?
The little thing about what it's about?
Yeah, let me go to it quickly.
Alright, I'll just go through the rest of this here. So there's lots of foreshadowing and plot twists. We named our characters after ourselves, so her character would be Lindsay Malfoy. Which is very interesting already, since we're adding a Malfoy.
Yeah, we're adding another Malfoy.
My character's name is Lillian Quintanar. We just added another pureblood family, because that's just how it would work for us and our story. So stay till the end, because all the plot twists kind of come into effect at the end. So
and it's it's completely appropriate, so don't worry about that. As some fanfics are not.
Yeah, it is very, very, very appropriate.
Very appropriate.
Except for the minor detail, like...
What detail?
Minor language, but Fred and George
it's minor language.
Because we're getting into character. It's not us
Fred
swearing.
And George. It's Fred and
the
George.
character swearing, right?
Okay. Wait, can I show the cover? Wait. I'm gonna
cover. Yeah. Show the cover.
I can't do that. One sec.
Where'd it go?
We're doing good today. Okay. What is my phone doing?
Technology.
I can't. Okay. So you can't really see it. If you guys are watching this, here's the cover. It's Fred and George called Destiny.
Yep.
Okay, so the thing is, so Lillian and Lindsay are best friends. During their first years at Hogwarts, they befriend the Weasley twins. There's only one problem.
Lucius.
Lindsay is a Malfoy, and the Weasleys are considered blood traitors. Lillian is a Quintanara, another pureblood. But her family doesn't consider the Weasleys bad people.
So it just kind of just shows how people can get together no matter their last name. Grow, change. And really, if you look deep into that, that's really the
And we actually, something else, we also add on to Draco, because I feel like there wasn't
a lot of, like, Draco Malfoy, so we really, really analyzed him deeply. Well, in the context of our story. We have to reanalyze him for the context of that original story.
A lot of analyzing Draco. Okay, yeah.
So, yeah.
Is there anything else?
I don't think that's it. But thank you guys so much for listening to our first one. There was a lot of little, like, slip-ups and it's fine,
Yes.
but it's our first
We'll get
one.
better.
And we'll get better, definitely.
Yes. Anything else?
You good?
Okay, I think we're good. So, guys, remember to lead with, what is it? With
Love and kindness.
Yeah, that's what it
or
is.
compassion.
Lead with love and kindness. Be kind to everyone. And
be the Lumos in this world.
And be the light in the world. The Lumos. And just be a good person. And I hope to see you next week.
We'll
Bye,
see you
guys.
next week. And in our exercise vlogs.
Oh, yeah, in our vlogs. I'm doing the vlogs.
All right.
Okay, adios.
Bye.